Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Lynn. Technology. Okay. Where there's a will, there's a way. So, today we'll be sharing on, I gave this much thought today before coming on. We can say, live in the infinite way, or living in heaven. Not surviving, living. We are created not to survive, to live. Heaven and hell are not geographical locations. They're states of consciousness. And heaven shows you where to go, while hell makes extravagant demands on us and leads us astray. And heaven is now. Now is all there is. Heaven is not someplace outside of us. Heaven is within us. And we have to come to the recognition that, that throughout creation, God is the principle of creativity itself. And wherever there is light or beauty or excellence in anything, we are experiencing, we're seeing God's glory. Of course, the Miracles teaches us creation knows no opposite. There is nowhere you can be that your true self is not God. God is everywhere, in everyone, and in everything. We are the ones that have to choose heaven. And in choosing heaven, hell disappears. Hell is what we've made. You want nothing that you have made. In this world, heaven is a choice, because we believe there are alternatives to choose between, the Course is teaching us. We think that all things have an opposite. And what we want, we choose. So, if heaven exists, there must be hell as well. The Course teaches us we see what we expect and we expect what we invite. Your result is your invitation coming to you as you send for it. You think with thought, you see with thought. We have two thought systems. There's a thought system of man based on separation, fear, and there's the thought system of God based on wholeness, love. And two opposing thought systems cannot occupy the mind at the same time. And the Course is teaching us you need to be reminded that you think 1,000 choices are confronting you, when there's really only one choice to make. Do not confuse yourself with all the doubts that myriad decisions would induce. You make but one choice. The power of decision is my own. You make but one choice. Choose heaven. Heaven shows us where to go. Hell makes extravagant demands on us. You will perceive, when you make the right choice, that it was no choice at all. Because choosing depends on learning. And what you are cannot be learned. All of our learning is an indulgence. We know words, lots of words. End the words and come to the recognition. To recognize is to know. Know thyself. Every spiritual teaching says the same thing. Know thyself. It's the beginning of wisdom. And in this recognition is your acceptance. And as it is accepted by you, it is known. And heaven is chosen consciously. And the Course teaches us the choice cannot be made until alternatives are accurately seen and understood. All that is veiled in shadows must be raised to understanding, to be judged again with heaven's help. All mistakes in judgment that the mind had made before are open to correction. And correction, we're in a universe of duality. We have two thought systems, and both cannot be true. So once we make the decision, whom do you want to serve? The selfish will or the selfless will? And which you choose will determine what you see. Heaven or hell? The choice is ours. And the correction can only take place where the error was made. Want to know the simple truth of what you are. So you can dismiss everything that you have made. We're in a universe of duality, cause and effect. There's no effect without a cause. The effect is the experience. Cause is thought. We have to be willing to have our errors be corrected. We're not being asked to do what lies beyond our understanding. Our material wealth has exceeded our spiritual advancement, has exceeded our spiritual development. You want to become what you already are, a clear channel through which the fullness of life is expressed. We have traveled eons of time. We are here to experience the joy and essence that is life, the greatness of life. And life is right here, right now. Life on the surface is spiritless and insipid for most of us. You want to float like a balloon with ease, grace, and effortlessness. We cannot just stay on the surface. On the surface, we see everything in fragmented pieces. And to fragment is to exclude. And we have excluded ourselves from our true essence. So we have to go deep, deep below to the root of all things. And we begin our journey toward heaven from where we are right now. Being patient, kind, and loving to ourselves, and accepting ourselves with all of our strengths and weaknesses. We're all capable of flying high in the sky of love. But often, many of us prefer just running on the ground instead. You want to fly away from earth to heaven as quickly as we can. And to fly away is to become like God. And to become like God is to become holy. Holy is whole. Adoration for God. Spiritually pure. So everything that we've made that distorts our perception has to be cleared out. And the choice is ours. You are a child of God, a priceless part of His kingdom, which God created as part of Him. And nothing else exists, and only this is real. So we have to accept our true identity. So what do? Light the fire of your true self, and it will burn out the fire of the false self. And never stop feeding the fire. Eventually it will flare up. and your life will become blazing light. Your life will be an example and demonstration to others that heaven is the way, the only way. Do you want to follow the divine design or your own design? Your divine design is already designed for you. We have a simple choice. Accept it or reject it. No one can give us what we already have. Happiness and sorrow, pleasure and pain, good and bad, likes, dislikes. All of this is what keeps us floating on the surface of life. We need to go beneath the surface so we can see more clearly the core essence of purity and goodness that is in each and every one of us, even in people who cause us trouble. The man-made world, the external world of form, has us so firmly in grips and mesmerized. You are a child of God and a priceless part of His kingdom. You cannot be anything other than what you already are. So we have to make a decision to end the conflict, to heal the distortion in your mind. So we ask ourselves, do I want to be a happy learner of the lessons life brings to me? Am I willing to let go of what I have made? And we also have to understand that this letting go is not something that happens overnight or in a day or two. Eons of thought patterns deposited in the mind. Are we willing to extinguish the selfish will so the selfless will can emerge? Are you willing to look at what you've made in simple honesty and ask yourself, did it bring you joy? You're giving up everything that you have learned. You want nothing that you've learned because it's not real. It's not of the light. You want to give it all up to the source that gave you life. So then we can begin to learn the joyous lessons. This is Earth School that come quickly and easily to your free and open mind. And when you're willing and open, the universe of learning will open up before you. The way is not hard, the Course teaches us. It's just different. Always is the way of pain, of which God knows nothing of. The universe of learning will open up before you in all its gracious simplicity. You want to know the simple truth of what you are and what you're here to do. And step out, step up, and do it. You will be supported by an abundant universe. And I say this only because of my own experiences. I made a simple decision. I want to know the truth of what am I and what am I on this planet to do. I want to make a contribution to mankind. I want to bring about a change in the way I've been living. I want something more rewarding, more fulfilling, more purposeful that offers peace. So we have to be willing to let go. We really have to re-educate ourselves. And re-education means unlearning, undoing in order to know. And we have many tools on this planet to support us in our undoing. A relative newcomer is A Course in Miracles that has 365 lessons and is leading us step by step through the evolving process. And again, heaven is here, right now. They are not geographical locations. They're states of consciousness. Heaven is God. Hell is what you've made. You want nothing that you've made. So we have to make a simple choice. And you ask yourself, why is the choice I made of value to me? What attracts my mind to it? What purpose does it serve? And you're giving yourself space and room to reflect, to ponder. If you feel any sense of guilt about the choice, then you've chosen wrongly. It means you're identifying with a false image. You're identifying with a false self. So guess what? Choose again. Your choices are your gifts. Choose to remember your true identity. And then we can face challenges without inner turmoil. Life is always presenting us with challenges in order to grow and remember our true identity, to strengthen the selfless will. So we have to come in honesty. Do you really desire to bring about a change in your life? If so, be devoted in your practice. Be honest with you. Honesty means consistency. And honesty does not apply only to what you say. Nothing you say contradicts what you think or do. No thought opposes any other thought. No word lacks agreement with another. If you say you're going to do something, you do it. You do it. Most of us are suffering from poverty consciousness, poor in spirit, poor in the awareness of our true identity, not realizing that we're rich in the richness of God because we're looking with physical eyes. We're looking with the body's eyes. And most of our attention is on the outer world of illusions. And no illusion has any truth in it. Heaven will show you where to go. The external world with its toys and trinkets have us mesmerized and in grips. And we believe and accept as being real that life is out there. I must do, I must get, I have to make something happen. Turn your senses inward to the light. Merge with the energy and allow your true self, your higher self, your soul, to direct your efforts. You cannot lose your way. One who knows travels with you. Happiness and sorrow, good and bad, pleasure and pain. These are the very texture of life on the superficial level. Self-will, what we've made, thrives on these dualities, responding with infinite likes and dislikes, which are the ego's way of self-expression. And the less you're bound by likes and dislikes, the more clearly you will be able to see the core of purity and selflessness that is the real self in everyone, even in people who cause us trouble. Conflict is an expression of fear. We have to emerge from the conflict. Conflict you have induced. How do we emerge from the conflict? By choosing light. Because the conflict is telling you you're out of balance. Conflict is self-deception, and self-deception is dishonesty. It means you're being deceived by the form, which causes struggle, mental struggle. And we struggle against what we are and what we've made. And two opposing thought systems cannot occupy the mind at the same time. We have to forgive ourselves, our illusions, give up, let go of what we've made. Forgiveness ends the dream of conflict. And this conflict cannot be evaded, set aside, or disguised, or hidden by deceit. It's self-deception. We are deceived by the form. What is form? That which is subject to change. What is truth? That what does not change. Change is the expansion of life. Change is moving forward. And your life will be better, grander than where you've been. Every second gives us an opportunity to choose the selfless will or the selfish will. And that's the battle everyone struggles with within themselves. How will this battle be resolved? By choosing to know yourself, your true self. By choosing to end the conflict and choose a different approach to life. And when you want your life to be different, you will change. Since change is the nature of this universe, and it's God. Or we can stay wrapped up in our illusions. Illusions are beliefs in what is not real. So through your practice, through your devotion, you're polishing the mirror of your mind daily. You want to leave the mirror clean and clear. Your desire is to live a divinely inspired life because you are of the highest quality and character of all life. And when we are fearful, you have chosen wrongly. Choose again. Every second gives us an opportunity. Choose again. You're not alone. You're never alone. And will never be alone. One who knows is with you. And we all have a certain allowance for error. We all have a certain amount of experiences to go through, and the sooner we can learn from our mistakes and make correction, the less suffering we will experience, and the faster we will accelerate. What is it that suffers? Suffering comes from our attachment. Detach from what seems to be taking place outside of you. It's the illusion. And no illusion has any truth in it. And detachment is not weakness. It's inner strength. You are relying only on the wisdom that is within you. So in any situation, regardless of the size or the form it takes, a letting go is necessary in order to allow the mind to reach inward to access the wisdom. And these changes are what is forcing us to see and think and live differently, to live according to the law of love, to live according to principles, code of conduct, and not according to man-made rules and ideas. Put all of your trust in what does not change, the eternal, changeless, unchanging, changeless, immortal self, the source that gave you life, God, who never wavers and never makes mistakes, will never fail you and will never collapse. And what is needed will be provided. And I say this because I've been on this path for 27 years, and my life is an example and demonstration to others that there is a different approach to life other than the approach we have taken. But we have to remain willing to move in a different direction. And let your higher self be the driver of the physical vehicle. Conflicting wishes, the Course teaches us, conflicting wishes cannot be my will. There's no conflict, for my will is yours. So I must be willing to end the dream of conflict. And I often say, and I may not have said it for a while, if you don't read anything out of A Course in Miracles books, read chapter 23, The War Against Yourself. That is where the conflict and battle is. And be willing to be healed. Healing is letting go. Whatever you accept is real for you, your acceptance of it makes it real. And you are either creating reality or making illusions. So we have to heal the delusional thought system. Right intention is right action. Right intention is in knowing thyself. To thine own self be true. Be true to you. No one's going to honor or respect anything in you that you don't honor first. Total freedom or total bondage. This is why A Course in Miracles is just cutting straight through to the core essence of what you are. And if you choose to be deceived, you will attack. What you do conflicts with what you want. And again, conflict is the result of self-deception, and self-deception is dishonesty. And if you are at one with yourself, you cannot even conceive of conflict. Conflict is an expression of fear. It's an illusion. You're being deceived or misled. That life is out there. So we have to come to the decision to end conflict and dishonesty. You can remain as you are, in pain and suffering. You can remain divided and partial in your release. Or you say, I want peace, I want to know myself, but yet you're unwilling to let go and end the duality. You have to make a decision to end the separation, to know yourself. Separation is the decision not to know. And your deepest desire, my deepest desire, was to know. And we do know. The knowledge lies within us. So we have to take responsibility for what we've made and be willing to let go. Eyes that look are common. Eyes that see are rare. And it's not eyes that see, it's awareness that sees. And awareness is the key to transformation. You want to become rooted and established in the awareness of what you are, the truth of what you are. Release. We have to release from within. Your responsibility. You're responsible for what you've made. No one else is. I see what I expect, and I expect what I invite. My result is my invitation. Come into me as I send for it. What I see is what I think I am, and what I think I am is what I become. Let me see my brother as I see myself. Well, how can I see my brother as myself when I'm not even seeing myself? Because there's too much conflict going on within the mind, too much chaos. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they're doing. It has nothing to do with the error. It's an appeal to God to heal the sickness in their mind. If I defend myself, I am attacked. Lesson 135. If I defend myself, I am attacked. The separated self we call the imposter self or the ego is just a wrong idea in your mind that says you are separate from God and can exist on your own. And based on this insane idea, belief, comes all of our problems: conflict, confusion, despair, suffering, misery. Because the ego's basic doctrine is seek, but do not find. And we know it's expert only in confusion, and its needs are endless. Put all of your trust in the eternal, unchangeable, immortal, changeless self. And when you feel pressure to change, it's the light force, the source of life, is pushing you to grow, to expand in consciousness, to let go and trust. Trust and know that you will be taken care of. No need is unmet. All you're being asked to do is to let the light in. You're not being asked to do what lies beyond your understanding. Do not interrupt its coming. Do not interfere. We're very good at interfering. Let it be what it is. It waits on welcome, not on time. Love yourself unconditionally. Trust means a willingness to let go of the fears that are stifling you and tormenting you, and surrendering to the reality that is you, beyond the physical, beyond name and form. And trust means you can act from a consciousness of love without doubt and uncertainty, but with a sense of confidence, a sense of assurance. Wanting sets the wheel in motion. So put the same kind of wanting into wanting something at the form level. I want a new car, or I want a bigger house, or whatever it may be. Put that same kind of wanting into wanting to know yourself. And ask yourself, what do I want? And what will I do? Again, for myself, I want to know the truth of what am I and what am I here to do. So what am I willing to do? I am willing to discipline and simplify my life in order to know my true self, so that I can return to society disciplined in mind and body to make a contribution to mankind. And it's the responsibility of each of us to recognize and accept the situation that is surrounding you and decide it's time to move in a different direction. It's time to change. And how is this change to take place? Right here, right now. Right now. Now is all there is. All roads that lead away from what you are lead to confusion and despair. If I defend myself, I am attacked. I want to remember what I am. To remember is to restore to your memory what is already there. Chapter 12 in A Course in Miracles, the way to remember God. So to love yourself is to heal yourself. And those who are sick do not love themselves. Therefore, they're asking for the love that would heal them, which they're denying to themselves. And if you knew the truth about yourself, you could not be sick. You are love. And that will never change. You are eternal, timeless. And whatever you may have can be increased by sharing. Because in the giving is the receiving. And the more you give, the more you receive. Creation is sharing. And you can only give what you know you have to give. And if love is all there is, then that's all I have to give. It expresses itself through you. I am as God created me. Let not my mind deny the thoughts of God. And the thoughts of God is not a book. We use the book as a tool, an aid to support you in letting go of what you've made. And the correction of fear is our responsibility. It's our responsibility. I'm responsible for what I see. I choose the feelings I experience, and I decide upon the goal I would achieve. And everything that seems to happen to me, I ask for and receive as I have asked. This gift of life has been given to you to give. Many of us are unaware of the gift we both have and are. And so you do not know your being. All confusion comes from not extending life. Use the mind, not allow it to use you. The power of decision is my own. You are the master. You are the masterpiece, not the frame. You become all-wise, all-knowing, claiming your power. Power of light, the truth, knowing the truth that will set you free. And that's all I wanted to know in my life. I want to know the truth of what am I on this planet to do. Transformation of consciousness is the only thing worth doing. Transformation in the physical. So it's a death and a rebirth process we have to go through. It's a process of opening, trusting, and surrendering what you have made. Let the light in and accept your daily bread of truth. And allow your light body to heal your physical body. Your light body is your spiritual blueprint. And it's available to you. Call on it. It's your godlike character. And character is what one is. Reputation is what one is thought to be by others. And your godlike character can do all things through you. Through you. But you have to merge, align with that energy. And you begin to feel a sense of safety. You begin to feel a sense of security. That all things are in divine order. I mean, we can say these words, but we have to come to a knowing within us. Know the truth of what you are. Love the child within. And only as you use your divine faculties can you create your ideal reality. So we have to be willing to loosen our grip and trust. And do not be afraid of the approach of light. You're claiming your divine inheritance. You're claiming your forgotten power. Only the truth will set you free. Today I live my life in freedom and joy. Do not take on limitations by identifying with the physical self as being real. It limits you and impedes your awareness of your true self. Allow life to be your teacher and friend. No illusion has any truth in it. Remind yourself often of how precious you are. Make a decision to end the separation. Separation is the decision not to know yourself, and we do know. Put the golden rule into application. Apply spiritual principles to everyday living. Principle is law or truth, code of conduct. Do not be disobedient to divine principles. You want to live a life of purposeful focus. One-pointedness. So do not cause yourself trouble and anxiety by focusing on what you've made. You want nothing that you've made. Do not fail yourself. Do you want to be free? The answer is yes. Then don't hold yourself hostage. Release the mind from its rigid dictates, selfish will, and allow the light source, the source that gave you life, to be your teacher and friend. Be teachable, and you will have no regrets. The cause indeed to rejoice that you are on the right path, and where you're going is better than, where you're going is better than where you've been. You're trusting in something you cannot see with physical eyes, but you know, you have a sense that there is something else, there is something more fulfilling and comforting. The mind is a marvelous instrument to be used when merged with your true essence, your soul. It's the mind of God. And it's being used constructively. And the majority of people's minds are untrained. And if the mind is untrained, then you have very little intuition or inner guidance or direction. Intellectual activity and pursuits are necessary, but we fail to cultivate high ideals. Spiritual ideals combined with modern educational methods is true education. And education comes from the Latin word educare, meaning hidden within or to draw out, which implies it's already there. You're using the tools. We have many tools on this planet to support us in remembering. But the knowledge is already there within us. If it's in one, it's in all. And all of our learning becomes an indulgence, and we become intellectual machines. And then finally what happens to us, we're unwilling, we rebel, we're refusing, All of this is what's forcing us to stop. Stop. Give yourself space and room. Refresh yourself. Have intervals of quiet. The constant activity going on within the mind deludes us into believing that we're separate from God. We're not separate from God. We only think we are. You want to have the power, claim your power, so you can do mighty works, not by the sweat of your brow, but by the intent of your consciousness. Right intention is right action. You're using your mind in the right way. You're working with high ideals. And this energy is flowing directly from the divine self within, because you're in alignment with that energy. So we can listen to the will of God, God's thoughts. God's will is thought. To will is to desire, implanted within each of us, and follow the direction. And take responsibility for your life. And use the mind, not allow it to use you. And A Course in Miracles is leading us step by step through the evolving process. And my life would not be what it is today without A Course in Miracles. It spoke to me very deeply. And I just used the tool to draw out what is already there and always has been there. So let us travel inward. Relax your mind. One who knows is with you. Close your eyes and tell yourself, I will listen intently in order to know. I will listen intently in order to know. I am eternally free in the light. I am eternally free in the light. I am armed with the weapon of wisdom. I am armed with the weapon of wisdom. I am willing to release all threads of fantasy. I am willing to release all threads of fantasy. Deep within you is everything that is perfect, ready to radiate through you and out into the world. Your passage through time and space is not at random. You cannot but be in the right place at the right time. Try to sink into your mind, letting go of every kind of interference and intrusion. By quietly sinking past them, you are relaxed. In selfless devotion to yourself, tell yourself, I am willing to relate only to what does not change. I am willing to relate only to what does not change. I allow myself to be surrounded by light. I allow myself to be surrounded by light. The light is here and the way is clear. The light is here and the way is clear. I see only light. I see only light. Do not allow the thoughts of the world to hold you back. You are entering into light, formless and without limit. Let go all the trivial things that churn and bubble on the surface of your mind, and reach down for the pearls below. There is a place within you where there is perfect peace. Try to identify with the part of your mind where stillness and peace reign forever. With eyes closed, tell yourself, I am receiving now. I am receiving now. My natural home is light. My natural home is light. Listen in deep silence. Be very still and open your mind. Sink deep into the peace that waits for you. Settle down in perfect stillness. Nothing outside of you can hurt you or disturb your peace. You are in charge of the universe because of what you are. You're asking for peace and stillness in the midst of all the turmoil born of clashing dreams. In timelessness, you rest. Sink into stillness. Slip away from dreams and into peace. In selfless devotion to yourself, tell yourself, I rest in stillness to receive. I rest in stillness to receive. I am receiving now. I am receiving now. I rest in stillness, quiet and unafraid. I rest in stillness, quiet and unafraid. Into the presence of light, I will enter now. Into the presence of light, I will enter now. The light is here, and the way is clear. The light is here, and the way is clear. We invite the angels to surround the ground on which you stand and sing to you as they spread out their wings to keep you safe and shelter you from every worldly thought that would intrude upon your holiness. You are immaculate and whole. Breathe the holy breath of life, for there is nothing else. As a dedication to yourself, tell yourself, I'm breathing the breath of God. I am breathing the breath of God. I am the breath of life. I am the breath of life. I cleanse my life of everything that does not matter. I cleanse my life of everything that does not matter. I live in my natural headquarters of light. I live in my natural headquarters of light. The divine light descends upon us all, and we are purified, grateful, and blessed. For this we give thanks. Rest in quiet light. Love you all. Thank you, Lynn.